Fire from stones. Some stones having a composition made up of least valence outer shell of the elements like potassium, sodium, magnesium, etc., will show the excitation when rubbed with the other stone having the similar type of elements. Due to the excitation of electrons, the spark is generated by rubbing two stones together, hence the mechanical energy is converted into radiant energy due to friction. Swordsmanship. You must have seen the spark created when the two swordsmen are battling in the field. The equal and opposite force is imposed on the two swords. The radiant energy is given out when one sword hits another sword due to friction at the sharp edge. Hair dryers. The energy radiated in the form of heat from the hair dryers is used to dry the hairs. It consists of an electric fan with a heating coil that heats the air passing through the coil and gives out warm air. The mechanical energy generated is transferred to radiant energy. Hammering the nail. A spark generated between the hammer and the nail must have been observed most of the time if you have tried to hammer the nail continuously. The mechanical energy is turned into frictional energy, giving the heat into radiant energy when the excitation energy of the iron is high. Driving. The motion of the piston up and down produces frictional energy, thus generating the heat and raising the temperature of the engine. This heat energy is radiated in the surrounding, warming up the engine of a vehicle. Welding. Welding is the process of joining two metallic parts together at a high temperature. For welding, we continuously hit the part until it produces a spark due to the excitation of electrons resulting into fusion. Hence, the mechanical energy we create is converted into radiant energy. Lighting a bulb using motor. On supplying power to a motor, the mechanical energy produced by the rotations is converted into electric energy, which is supplied to a bulb. The light from the bulb is radiated in all directions, thus lighting the room. Generators. The generators are used to convert mechanical energy to electric energy. This electricity generated is passed to your home, which is then converted into radiant energy upon supplying power to the bulb. Sharpening machines. While sharpening the items, the radiant energy is given out in the form of a spark produced due to frictional energy generated by rubbing the edges to the conveyor belt. The continuous rubbing heats the belt, and the heat is radiated in the surrounding. Matchsticks. Matchsticks are made up of a phosphorus lid, which on rubbing on the surface the frictional force is applied that causes the matchstick to lit, giving the radiant energy. Lighter. Lighters come with liquid butane, which is highly flammable. On pressing the trigger push button on the lighter, it hits the piezoelectric crystal at the bottom that generates the piezoelectric spark, which is passed through the wire. At the same time, the nozzle is pushed up on the other side of the trigger button, allowing the gas to release from the nozzle and lit the gas. Propellers. The propellers are attached to the motor that supports them to rotate. The motor starts rotating when supplied with the electrical energy, which is then converted into mechanical energy. This mechanical energy radiates in the form of wind in the entire room. Grinder. The grinders are used to grind the mixture into smaller particles. It has two rollers connected to the shaft that helps to churn the mixture. The friction of the roller on the base of the grinder produces heat that is radiated to the mixture and in the surrounding of a grinder. Hence, the mechanical energy is converted into radiant energy in the form of heat and sound. LEDs on string helicopters. The string helicopter runs on the principle of mechanical energy generated by the wheel and the axle. The gear attached to the string rotates as the pulled string is released, and along with it, all the attached gears move, producing enough energy that is supplied to the LED to lit, radiating the light. Friction of machines. Machine parts aligned together undergo frictional forces. Due to the friction, the heat energy is generated and is transferred to the surrounding region, making air warm. Tuning forks. Tuning forks were used as acoustic resonators to tune the musical instruments in the early days. Upon hammering, it produces a musical note. The tone from the two-pronged fork relies upon the frequency produced by it. Depending on the length of the metallic fork, it produces vibrations that are radiated in the air and the sound is heard. Turning on light switch. As you put on the switch of a light, the mechanical energy comes in roll. On putting on the switch, the radiant energy is radiated from the light bulb. Hence, the mechanical energy is converted into electric energy and then radiant energy. Frequently asked questions. What is radiant energy? Radiant energy is the energy radiated in the form of a particle or a wave. The radiant energy could be in any form, like thermal, sound, electrical, wind, light, that can propagate in the air, thus called radiant energy. How does the mechanical energy is converted into radiant energy? Mechanical energy is the energy acquired by the system while doing some work. The thermal energy or the frictional energy produced during the work is transformed into radiant energy in the form of a wave or particle. Please visit our website lambdageeks.com for more articles on technology, engineering, mathematics, and various other domains. Scientific calculator and many more other tools.